Hello and welcome to Talk Bowling, episode number 46. I'm John Conga.
I'm Tony Rucco. Talk Bowling is proud to bring you the latest information from the bowling industry, bowling tips, and updates on the largest internet bowling website, bowlingballcom.
You better get used to saying that.
I know, I was waiting for the one other, and this is Brian Hallstrom.
Yes.
Speaking of Brian Hallstrom, Brian will no longer be with us on Talk Bowling. He had an opportunity to take another position outside the bowling industry, and he went with that. So,
yep. Good luck to him.
Yeah, we wish him good luck. And if you guys have any questions, they'll be just for John and myself for this time, at least.
We'll see. Yeah, we may add somebody else.
Possibly.
See how it goes.
So, with that being said, we'll get into this week's questions.
Yeah, we had a few questions from people. We're getting quite a bit more, and it's been exciting. And
yeah, I think people like having their questions answered instead of just, sometimes if we don't have any, we'll go back to just general tips, but I think people are always more concerned about their own deals. So,
and I appreciate people that are asking, when's the next episode? They want us to be regular. Sorry we missed last week. That's when Brian kind of gave us notice, and
yeah,
we were out. You were sick. Last week was a bad week. So this week, Matt K asks, I have a raw hammer Psycho. It was drilled with layout number 1 for a high track. My Pro Shop guy roughed up the surface to 200 grit.
I think he means 2,000.
Yeah, he did come back and say 2,000
yeah.
later. My coach for my high school team said my ball should be polished. I throw the ball at about 14 miles per hour with about 200 or so RPMs. I'm working to increase my speed and rev rate. Should I have my ball polished or leave it at 2,000 grit? Are Scotch Brite pads okay to use also? Well,
my suggestion is you should be throwing it polished. At that low of a ball speed with the RPMs you're saying you have, when you get more surface on the ball, it's just going to create more friction earlier.
Right. That's probably about where I'm at.
Yeah, probably very similar.
14, 15, and I love polished.
Yeah, and the other thing that's, when you buy a ball that is polished and pearlized, you can rough up the surface, but it's a pearlized ball. It's meant to be polished. It's meant to create skid and give you more energy on the back end. So you can play around with it, just repolish it and see what it does. And you can use Scotch Brite. I prefer Abralon now, but Scotch Brite still works. We used to use Scotch Brite all the time before they brought Abralon out. So either one does work, but I would go with polish as well. I would agree with your coach.
Yes. Until you change the way you're throwing the ball and increase in speed, then you have to readdress. Alrighty, you want to read the next one?
Sure. Tyler B says, I have a question. Do you guys feel that not using finger grips is a good way to reduce the amount of revs you can produce? I bowl for college, and my coach was telling me that it would be helpful for me to reduce the amount of revs I generate, and I've been exploring some pretty general options to help myself out in that category. I have a mid to low 500 rev rate and throw the ball between 17 and 19 miles per hour generally. If you guys have any tips for taking some hand out of the ball, I would greatly appreciate it, and I love the show.
It's kind of interesting. We got both ends of the spectrum: low speed, high speed, low rev.
Yeah.
So,
my suggestion: I don't see a huge difference in my rev rate when I take grips out. When I was bowling a lot, I wouldn't use grips because I would built up calluses. I find it a little tougher on my fingers, but I don't lose any revs, so to speak. So I use it, grips, not grips, for if I'm bowling a lot or not. But as far as taking hand out of the ball, I know a lot of guys that I know go to a Sarge Easter grip.
I know a lot of guys that I know. That was interesting.
I know a lot of guys I know. Yeah, that I know. Yeah. Sarge Easter grip kind of helps with that because you take your ring finger to conventional, and so it takes a little bit of the lift out of the ball.
Yeah, that's what I've been hearing for a long time.
Yeah, you'll see a few guys on tour that obviously you can tell they rev the ball up a lot, and they use Sarge Easter grip to kind of cut that down because you can get to a point where you have too much. So maybe try that. It's important that gets fit properly though, because that can really feel odd at first. But I would try that. Other than that, I don't know what would really decrease your rev rate that much.
Softening your follow through.
Maybe you don't want to try and change too much technical stuff of your game or the physical part of your game just to lower your rev rate. But I would maybe try Sarge Easter grip. That may help quite a bit. And if you need more information on that, let us know. I think we have some I think we have some information on the site about that.
Yeah, on bowlingballcom. We also did an episode about that.
Did we?
I don't way back, probably in the teens.
Okay. Yeah, let us know if you have any more questions about that, and we can help you out if you need to.
And actually, if you do try it, we love to hear how it works out for you.
Yeah, that would be good, because I think there's a guy who works for us that used to use Sargey's to grip, and I think he did it because of that also.
Mm-hmm. That plus it was the end thing. I think it had just
At one time it was.
it just came out.
It felt horrible to me, so it never went anywhere.
Alrighty, starting at, well, I'll say sponsors so people know. Starting at less than $5 per month, web hosting from GoDaddy includes 99.9% uptime, 24/7 support, and free access to the GoDaddy hosting connection. The place to quickly install over 50 free applications like WordPress, Joomla, Drupal, OS Commerce, and much more. Plus, enter code BOWL8 to save an additional 10% off your order. Some restrictions apply. See site for details.
Nice. All right, question of the week. This is an interesting one. John and I were kind of talking about, since the show is obviously changing, do we want to change any of the format of the show? So the question of the week this week is, do we retire the question of the week? Brian was actually always in charge of coming up with the question of the week, and if you guys like it and want it, we'll keep doing it. It's not the work, it's just wanting to make sure you like what's going on in the show. So if you would prefer us to do one other viewer question instead of take up the time with question of the week, we can.
The one thing I did not get is the answer to the last
Oh, I have it somewhere. Yeah, I'm sorry. We'll have to give that to you next time. John didn't use my format for show notes, otherwise he would have found that.
No, I wouldn't have found it.
You would have, because you would have erased.
I did it late last
night. You would have
night.
erased as you went.
But
So
I
anyway,
did
this
it
week's
last
question
night.
is, do you want us to retire question of the week? So let us know what you think.
Yes. And in closing,
Go for it.
please remember that I've done a lot of reading this episode somehow.
There's two of us. It's going to have to start to get split up a little bit more.
Oh,
I can make it a one-person show and you can be the cameraman.
that's fun. That would work. Let's go for it. Please remember that bowlingball.com is free shipping on every item every day. No hidden handling fees, no hidden packaging fees. The price shown is the price you pay. No surprises.
Very good. And yes, in case you're wondering, Brian will no longer be on the ball reaction videos either. I just thought of that because a lot of our people watch that.
Yes.
We're working on that. A lot of you have asked for a lefty, so
Or a woman.
I'm going to do my best to find a lefty. I refuse to bowl with a woman. Just kidding.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.